Welcome, Unity family. Thank you for being here tonight. Welcome to Unity, everyone. Welcome to our live streamers. We feel your love and presence here in this space. Let's begin with a moment of prayer. Please join me in taking a deep cleansing breath and letting go. Release the day, release the stresses or the busyness or anything that's fussing within you. Let it go. And remember the love that you are, the light that you are, the peace that you are. Breathe into that awareness. And feel a greater sense of freedom as you bring that awareness to this time together, that you are uplifted, you are illuminated and radiant in the very light of your being, of your essential self, your true nature. It is beautiful to have the opportunity to join together in unity tonight, to have this experience together. And so we bring our full presence. We bring our willingness to listen to Spirit for insights, guidance, inspiration, and to feel our connection with each other and with the divine. And we're so grateful for this opportunity tonight and for the love that fills this space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace in the earth. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Om. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Om. Peace inside my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I
Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om Shanti When there is peace in my mind, there will be peace in the earth.
We're so blessed to have Jamaica Gray and Andy Grawl here tonight. Let's feel spirit in this place. Sing with us. Sweet spirit, sweet spirit, take over this place. Take over this place, sweet spirit, sweet spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, sweet spirit, sweet spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, sweet spirit, sweet spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, mighty spirit, mighty spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, mighty spirit, mighty spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, healing spirit, healing spirit. Take over this place, take over this place, healing spirit, healing spirit. Take over this place, 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 take over this place. Take over this place, Spirit. Remember now all that we have, all that we are, all I am as we sing. I'm so blessed. Prepare for meditation. We're blessed because you showed up here tonight, so thank you. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And so, with that beautiful energy of gratitude, of bringing awareness to all the ways that we are blessed, I invite you, if you haven't done so already, to go ahead and close down your eyes. Perhaps just lower your gaze. Arrange your body in a way that allows you to feel both comfortable and supported. And let's take a moment to simply breathe. Not trying to force our breath in any particular way or give ourselves instructions for breathing, for we are simply being breathed by the source of our being, and all we need to do is relax into it. And so I just invite you to check in with your body and see if you can engender a sense of gratitude for your body, for all that it is, all that it has been, all of the ways that it supports you. And simply notice if the mind comes in and says, well, yes, I can be grateful for this part or that part, but maybe not this one. Just do a little body scan and see if there's any places where you're holding any constriction or sense of something needing to be different, and see if you can just open yourself up to allow your body to be exactly as it is right here, right now. And send your body love and appreciation. Now we move on to our mind, center of our intelligence, our mind that blesses us with so many thoughts, and sometimes maybe too many thoughts, it can feel like. Just invite you in this moment, can you thank your mind? Can you thank yourself for all the ways that you have creative thoughts, all the ideas, the inspirations? That beautiful problem-solving mind of yours. The one that remembers to reach out to a friend. The one that remembers to remind yourself to take care of yourself. All the beautiful ways that your mind supports you. And just notice, again, any thoughts that might say, yeah, but sometimes you forget this. Or sometimes you think thoughts that don't serve you well. We just say, okay. And so it is. See if you can love your mind exactly as it is, right here, right now. Now let us move our attention and our awareness to our heart space. Sometimes it's helpful to actually think of the place where our physical hearts are, to allow that space to feel open. Maybe perhaps breathing, imagine that we're breathing into that space, seeing it filling with love and with light. And we take a moment to send love and appreciation to our hearts for all the wisdom that has been revealed in our heart center to us, for all of the aches and griefs and losses and love that our hearts have been through and that have carried us through. And so whether we come into this space with a heart that is full of light and energy and a lightness and okayness with the world, or if there's something weighing on our heart, there's something that's maybe troubling us in this moment, we make room for that too. And we send love, we send compassion and appreciation into our heart for all its wisdom, for all of the ways that it helps us navigate in this world. And so what we know and affirm in this moment, that our body, our minds, our hearts, each component is an expression of the divine. Each component fully integrated into the wholeness and the perfection of God, Spirit, universal intelligence, divine love. And that there's no part of us that is separate from that love or outside of the circle of God. And so let's take just a moment to relax into the appreciation of this knowing for ourselves. And perhaps in this awareness, this love of someone else in your life, someone else that you know, that you just see them in their wholeness, that you would like to see them realizing their own perfection. We just send that to them now, knowing it's there for them. And so with gratitude for the love that we are, the love in which we live, move, and have our being, we are grateful, and so it is.
Stacy, thank you. I'm so grateful for the love of this community. This time in our service is a time where we get to share our love with unity through our practice of giving. It's like sending out a hug to this community. When you give to this community, sending out love, allowing us to open the doors day after day for services and classes and events, counseling, all the many things that we have going on at Unity. So thank you for your hugs of love through your giving tonight. We're so grateful for each one of you, truly. I invite you to give here in the pyramid, if you're so led, or you can give right on your phone, on the website, in whatever way is most convenient for you tonight. As we prepare the offering, let's just imagine that energy of love that flows through our giving is sending out a hug to each person who's touched by this ministry, helping them to remember the love and the light that they are. Let's pray together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and so it is. I am
undefined. I'm just beginning, pens in my hand, the ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Treat yourself with words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the line. Yeah. I've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Oh. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Treat yourself with words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Treat yourself with words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. 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 The rest is still unwritten.
That was great, thank you. And I particularly love, I don't remember the line about, I've been conditioned not to make mistakes, and I can't live that way. So I know for myself and for maybe some of you might have been, feel like you were conditioned to not make mistakes. Like it wasn't okay to make mistakes. And there's no need for us to live that way. So I want to tell you about something. I'm going to start off by telling you something that happened to me. It was about 1.5 years ago that I heard a voice. And this voice said something to me. And it was somewhere in between a command and an invitation, more like a challenge. And this happened about 18 months ago, and it has percolated around in my heart and in my mind ever since. Sometimes it's more in the forefront, and some other times it drops to the background. And I'll tell you how it happened. But before I go forward, I should tell you this wasn't a voice like from beyond. This wasn't a burning bush kind of moment. I was on my computer doing some work, and I found that I get distracted very easily. And so I like to have some concentration music on YouTube. Has all this concentration music. I have it playing in the background. It's just kind of a wah, somehow that helps me stay focused. And all of a sudden, I'd kind of noticed that it had clicked off and there was a voice talking, but I wasn't paying much attention until I heard the voice say this: "You have no choice. You must fall in love with everyone." And I thought, what, me? Fall in love with everybody? Well, okay, that's a little bit, let me switch the channel here. And it was a man called Sadhguru, who maybe some of you are familiar with. He's a yogi and a mystic. And I had watched some of his videos before. So YouTube thought I needed to hear this one. But they also think that I need to hear, "Women that are almost 50, quit dressing this way." I'm like, okay, YouTube, mind your business. But on this day, I was actually grateful for this, because something in this idea of you must fall in love with everyone. Of course, we know we're supposed to love everybody, right? We're a love everybody church at Unity. But there's something different about this call to fall in love with everyone. So I just kind of sat with that. But tonight, what I want to talk to you about is freedom and fulfillment here and now. And some of the questions that I have, and maybe you have too, is we know we want freedom. We know we want to live a life of fulfillment. So why does it feel like a lot of times that we have obstacles in the way of experiencing our freedom? And that maybe we address this obstacle and then we have another one. Or maybe we're free in this area of our life, but over here we're feeling very constricted and like we can't have much movement. And why is it that fulfillment always seems to be one step down the road? Well, maybe it's tied to a particular thing. Like I felt very fulfilled, for example, when my kids were growing up and then they left and then there's that piece missing. So does this mean I'm not living a fulfilling life now? So there's all these ideas that our freedom and fulfillment there's obstacles to them and that they can't quite happen now, but maybe somewhere in the future they're going to happen. So we're going to kind of explore some of these questions. Is this true? And maybe there's another way to look at this. And then what in the world does this have to do with falling in love with everybody? We'll find out. You can tell me at the end if you think it has anything to do with that. We'll see. So one of the first things I want to do, though, you may have noticed you got a piece of cardstock when you came in, if you're here in the pyramid, and I invite our online friends, if you have access to something to write with and a piece of paper, that would be great. And if you'd feel more comfortable doing this exercise in your imagination, that's fine too. So before we get into it, I want to tell you where I got this from. So I love to read, and one of the things I do to my own detriment sometimes is I get excited about books, and then I'm reading 5 at a time. I don't finish one, start the next one. I'm reading them all over the place. And right now, one of the books I'm reading is called "Where'd You Park Your Spaceship?" It's by one of my favorite spiritual teachers, Rob Bell, and it's a very interesting book. And so this exercise comes out of a scene from that book. I don't want to give any spoilers in case you decide to get it, because it's a pretty cool book. And so you have your piece of paper here. So I just want to invite you, first of all, to lay aside any judgment about yourself as an artist. This is not to create a piece of fine art, although if it accidentally happens, that's wonderful too. And so what you're going to do on that piece of paper, the first thing you're going to do is just draw a simple, very rudimentary stick person in the middle of the paper to represent yourself. Or like I said, you can hold this in your imagination if you'd rather not. And again, very rough, rustic. Barbara, are you looking for some paper? I think there's some in the back. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. So you draw a stick figure. On the paper, stick figure to represent yourself on the middle of the page. Okay, so everybody have their stick figure or some semblance of one. Now I'd like you to just for a moment think about your life and kind of like components. Think about maybe if you work or if you have a creative hobby or if you're an artist, and draw symbols, something, and again, we're not trying to be perfect here, something that you'll know what it means. Maybe animals that represent the pets in your life. Maybe some stick figures to represent family. Think about where you kind of spend a lot of your time. Where do you go? Maybe you have family that lives somewhere else on the other side of the world or the other side of the country. Maybe you have something that symbolizes that. These are what you think of when you think of what makes up my life experience. I'll take just a moment to do that. Okay, we'll just take it just a little bit longer. I'm sure many of you have very full lives, so there's lots of components on there. We don't have to get them all on there. Okay, so I invite you just to put your pen or your writing implement aside. Take a look at the paper. And where do you see yourself on that paper? That's my question. Where do you see yourself? In the middle. Yes, you're thinking, well, Stacy, that's a trick question. You said, draw myself in the middle as a stick figure. But I want you to hold the paper. Maybe hold it up a little bit. And don't worry, nobody's going to look at your drawings. And you are, in fact, yes, you're the stick figure, but you are, in fact, the paper itself. You are the awareness within which all of those things are happening. So many times when we are finding ourselves in our daily life, it feels like we are this person down here. I don't know why I say down here, but we are this person and all these things are happening to us, or all these things we have to go and make happen, when in fact, that is just part of our awareness. We are actually the paper in its entirety itself. And this is what Panache Desai, we're going to talk about his book a little bit too, he calls our essential self. In Unity, we might call it our Christ nature, this awareness that we can align with the source of our being, the source of the universe, that we can be, you've heard the expression, in this world, but not of it, that there is something more to us than these things. And so when we are over-identified, with what Panache Desai says, when we are over-identified with this stick figure self, it can feel like life is an obstacle. It can feel like we have to make everything happen or it's not going to happen. It can feel like life is even sometimes against us. And we don't have that same bird's eye view that we have when we can connect ourselves with our essential self and to see that it's all happening within a larger thing that we are connected with. So Panache says this, and this comes from his book, You Are Enough, and we've been exploring that for a few weeks here at Wednesday night service. And he says that you are not your pain. You are not your position. You must learn to trust life and let go of all that is obstructing your view of your essential self. You must learn to surrender, knowing that in that act of surrender, you are letting go of the resistance to what is unfolding right now. And in that trust, there is freedom. So that freedom happens when we can trust that this is, and you know, when we're in it, sometimes it's tough. It's not to say that things aren't happening that are difficult in this. But here's the thing, if we were to come back and meet here 10 years from now and do this same exercise, now your stick figure would probably look the same because stick figures look the same. If we had accurate drawings, we would look different. Our bodies would look different 10 years from now. Some of those components that you drew might still exist, and some of them may have gone away. Some of them may have dissolved. That is the nature of things in this realm. And when we can view ourselves as the paper, we tap into that part of ourselves that is eternal and timeless, and that all these things happen within, and there's nothing outside of that. This is the love of God. This is the circle of God. This is the infinite, the infinity of the universe. Nothing can happen outside of that. And so does this mean that our job is to just sit on a cushion and be the paper? Be the paper. That's all. We don't need to worry about all this stuff that's happening. If we're the paper, why does it matter? Well, it does matter. Because this is the work that we are here to do, to bring that essence of the infinite into the finite. And I think that one of the things that our unity principles help us do is to figure out how to do that. And so how would we act if we knew that we are bigger than what is happening around us, that we are bigger than our challenges and our circumstances? And what do we mean by bigger? What do we mean by essential self? What is the nature of the essential self? Well, our first unity principle says that there's only one presence, one power in this world, in our lives, and it is God and it is good. And frankly, you can call it whatever you want. You don't even have to call it God, but we know that it is good. And we can call it even love. That is the nature of it. We can call it oneness because it knows no separation. There's nothing outside of it. And so the second unity principle, now this is the one that got me when I came here, because I thought, well, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful that God is good all the time and that there's no resisting a presence to that there is only one presence and it is for good, one power and it is for good. And then our second principle says something that blew my mind, which is, well, then guess what? Humans are good too. We cannot not be. If there's only one presence and one power, we are expressions of it. We are self-expressions of the divine, and we are good too. And not just the parts that we call good, the parts that we don't like, the parts that we're talking about in the meditation, the parts that you'd rather not be there, all of that is included too. All of it is included. And so if we come to our lives knowing this, then how much different will we be in action than when we think of ourselves as this small, separate me that just is running around trying to get my needs met, trying to figure out everything. And I'm over here and you're over there and we're not connected at all. And we see things as a means to an end. Whereas if we come from this realization of our wholeness, of our oneness with God, that we are already whole, perfect, and complete in that awareness, then we can move into our fifth principle. This is why I say we don't just sit there and say, be the paper, be the essential self. That's all we have to do. Sit on our cushion. Because our fifth unity principle says it's not enough to know these truths. It's not enough to know that this is true, that we are good, but we must live from the truth that we know. And so when we get into alignment with this awareness, then when we start to encounter these obstacles, when we start to question ourselves about things, when we find ourselves in judgment, we don't have to look at it as something that we have to overcome or something that's been put in our way because we deserve trouble. Instead, that we can remind ourselves of this essential nature of ourselves, this essential nature that is all love all the time. And it has no preference. This is the key about this divine love. It has no preference. You are loved whether you are on your A game or you are just messing up all over the place. Really, it doesn't matter. And that feels, sometimes you're like, but wait a minute, what about the people who aren't acting right? Well, sorry, they're just as loved as you are. There's no point system in this. It's good news and the bad news, right? For our human minds, that can feel like bad news. And so when we act from that place, I want to say this too. So Reverend Michael last week, some of you know that he does a Facebook Live on Fridays at 12:30. And he's been doing it since the pandemic started, and he does a little message and a couple of songs. But I was really touched by what he was speaking about last Friday. And in particular this, he said that we can either choose, we have the choice to act from our pain or act from what we know is true. And so when we are in it, meaning in the life, in the mud and the muck of life, which can be beautiful too. Of course it has its beautiful moments, but when we are so consumed with what is happening in our life situation and trying to meet every problem with a solution, trying to fix the people we know, anybody else do that, or fix ourselves, then we are sometimes acting from our pain, we're acting from our resistance, our need for it to be different or for someone to be different. And when we tap into that knowing of our wholeness, when we see ourselves as our essential self, we are actually living in the overflow of love. We can be generous with our praise. We can be generous with our compassion, with our forgiveness, not only to others, but to ourselves. And so what does this have to do with falling in love with everyone? Well, we'll see if it does. That still remains to be seen. So Panache, in his book, when he talks about the essential self, we've talked a little bit about this, and he says that we know that the nature of the divine, the nature of the universe is for good, it is for love. And Panache says this about love, this kind of love, that it's not about controlling, achieving, or getting something. It is about the direct experience of the essential self. So to experience directly within you your connection, your oneness with the divine. And when you have access to that internal reservoir, it can extend out to others with compassion, with love. People will feel love from you because that's the energy that you're putting out. And it's radiating from your authentic self, which has been liberated by your own self-acceptance. So you can only radiate out the love that you're willing to give to yourself. And it comes also from your expanded awareness. So if we can look at freedom as the byproduct of knowing ourselves as more than just the stick figure, and see ourselves in the fulfillment of, it comes when we embody that truth, when we can be the love that we wish to see in the world, we can kind of come full circle with this voice that says you must fall in love with everyone. Now, when I heard that voice say that, at the time I was in ministerial school and working here at Unity, and like any good ministerial school student, I went to the Revealing Word, which is a book that Charles Fillmore, our Unity co-founder, it's a collection of words that he gave metaphysical definitions to. Because the word love, that's what I was curious about. Okay, fall in love with everyone. Okay, what do you mean by love? Like, I love pizza. Is that, like that much? Like, what kind? And Charles Fillmore said this about love. He said that is the pure essence that binds together the whole human family, and that it's impersonal, and that it loves for the sake of loving. So it's a pure essence that binds together the whole human family, and that it's impersonal, and that it loves for the sake of loving. So I think about the pure essence of falling in love, and so a lot of times we think about this romantic love, but what came to me was the love for a newborn baby. Now, imagine if you've been in the room with a newborn baby. Maybe it's your child, your grandchildren, a niece, a nephew, a cousin, a friend's baby. It doesn't matter. When you're in that space with this new, beautiful being that somehow just seemed to magically appear in this world, there's nothing but love in the room. We don't look at that baby and say, I'm going to wait to see how this one turns out before I love it, okay? Because if it's got my brother-in-law's personality, I don't know. We don't need we don't need that baby to give us approval before we love it. We simply love it. There's a connection there. There's a felt innocence. And that innocence exists. It seems like it goes away as we become older and we start classifying things as right and wrong and what looks like behaving and what's not. And yet, at the core of all of us is still that beautiful, innocent baby, that pure essence of love. And I think it's interesting that Charles calls this the pure essence that binds together the human family. He uses the word essence. And then Panache uses the word essential self. And both of those have the same root word that mean inherent in the makeup of the thing. So this is essential to us. This is inherent in us, this kind of love. And so the second piece that I thought was so interesting with Charles was the impersonal. Okay, wait a minute. So divine love is impersonal because I want God to like me. I want people to like me because I'm me. And yet, what this impersonal means to me, and maybe you have something that's coming up for you, but what it means to me is that it transcends personality. It's not reliant upon personality. There's a freedom in that for me when I'm calling myself to fall in love with everyone. That doesn't mean that I have to like everybody. Maybe I'm letting myself off the hook with that one. No, but it means, though, is that there is something that connects all of us, the universality of the human experience, that I can love and remain in a loving consciousness even when people are behaving in the exact opposite way that I would like them to. Even when the people in front of me are not loving me or giving me the energy of separation, whatever it is, or we see this out in the world, that we can stand in this love and say, humans, no matter how their behavior is in the outward expression, at their core, they are innocent. At the core, they are one with the one, just like us. And so this can really help us with our sense of otherness, with our sense of needing to make people wrong. It doesn't mean that we don't hold people accountable for behaviors, of course, but it does mean that we don't have to kick them outside of our circle of love. And it also means that we will never be, no matter what we do, kicked outside of that circle. And so it's a personal, and then it loves just for the sake of loving. I love this part because it loves for the sake of loving. Divine love does, because that's what it is. That's what it knows to do. And sometimes in our human form, when we're trying to, especially when we're making this move, because this idea of freedom and fulfillment is all about what does it mean to make up my life? Some of the things that we drove in, what should I be doing? What will, at the end of my life, what will it look like I've lived a life well lived? And sometimes it feels it's like all about doing things, all about accomplishing things, all about getting the next thing done. And in the reality of it, if we were to know that we are loved simply because we are, and that we can love ourselves just for the sake of loving ourselves, not because we met our expectations for that day, we crossed off everything off our to-do list. No, we love ourselves just for the sake of it, because this is who we are. This is who we are here to be. Then freedom opens up, freedom to really be our authentic selves. We take off the boundaries of needing ourselves to be a certain way in order to get that love. We don't feel like there's a lack of it. We realize we're not in competition with anybody else for it. And so what my blessing for you in this evening is may you know yourself as this pure essence of love. May you know yourself as this conscious awareness, this oneness with the divine. May you see all of the things that are happening in your life as for you, not against you. May you realize that when you experience this freedom, when you tap into this knowing that all is well, and you will be led to your next right and perfect step. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All we need is love, right?
Right?
Thank you, Reverend Stacy. Oh, just love that example with the paper and the stick figures. I looked so skinny in that picture. Oh gosh, there's so much food for thought there. Thank you. Thinking about how we experience love with each other, and that one of the things is like that, and you touched on this, just giving love freely without expectation, because that's where I get hooked, is that if I just love them the right way, they're going to be my bud, we're going to hang, we'll be cool with each other. And if that person doesn't show up the way that I feel like I'm giving to them, and it's like, then I start to suffer there. And I remind myself, like, I can let go of that, thank you, of that, can I let go of that need for them to show up a certain way so that this feels like reciprocal here? It's like, I'm just going to give freely. I've been doing some self-love. When I showed up tonight, Andy and Jamaica were like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And this looks. I look like I'm wrapped up for like a fight or something, but I had a little cyst on my wrist that was removed, and they said, "Oh, you're just being a little splint," and then it's this thing. And when I told Andy, he was like, "No, that's not a good story. We got to come up with something better." And so a couple ideas were that I saved a cat from a burning building. I loved that. Thank you, Andy. That's so like me to do that. And the other one, which was equally as fun, was that Michael and I were duking it out for who's going to do the Christmas Eve candle lighting service. And, you should see how Michael turned out. But, of course, that didn't happen. But I think that it's great when we can make light and have fun with whatever crazy is going on in our lives, right? That spirit is, that love that spirit is also lighthearted and cares about us in such a way that we don't have to get so like heavy burdened with everything.
Yeah, I love that. I was there was a point, and this was in ministerial school too, where I was taking a few classes, and one of them just wasn't clicking for me. And I was talking to a coach, Martha Creek, Martha, and she's just so lovely. And I said, but this is ministerial school. This is sacred, and I kind of went all around, and then I said, well, I guess just because something's sacred doesn't mean I have to be so serious about it. And she said, say that again. And I said, just because something is sacred doesn't mean I have to be so serious. And that's true with our lives, too. Sometimes it can feel that for me, like I want to get it right, that I want to make sure I'm being my best self every day. And I don't know about you, but my best self every day looks very different. It may be my best self for that day is a very different best self you will get the next day, all depending on a lot of circumstances. I don't know, the barometric pressure. I don't know what it is now. But, there are things, there are moods, there are challenges, there are whatever it is that come up that are best selves. And we just have to give ourselves a little space and hold it lightly for that.
Yeah, I love how in these chapters that you spoke on, and Panache talked about how we have this created self, and then we can create this spiritual created self, which is just like a better version. It meditates more, goes to yoga, wears different clothes that are, maybe flowy butterfly outfits. And we have to laugh at that too, right? It's like, oh, I think I'm so spiritual at this, that I've got so many, chakra necklaces and bracelets and things. It's like, okay, if that's helpful, that's beautiful and it's wonderful, but it's not about like adding on more adornments. It's more about like kind of letting go of all the trappings of that and just being like that authentic, raw. I don't think it's unfiltered. I don't know about sometimes the filters are a good thing, right? Not too unfiltered. Not to the point of being offensive. My mind can come up with some crazy stuff. Healthy filters.
I think you're so right about anything that we do, even the most noble endeavor, I don't want to say need to, but we can be observant of our mind, because the ego will use that to build another role. And now I am a breatharian, I don't need to eat, I'm a this, so I am superior to everyone else. Or I see somebody in I like Eckhart Tolle said one time that people think that people driving BMWs have big egos, but sometimes it's the person that's walking barefoot in the robe that has the bigger ego, because they have identified themselves as this person that has shunned away all material possessions. It's whatever that we find ourselves tempted to think, this is the truth of who I am. And it's something in this world, Yeah,
anything that puts us above others or below others too. It's like we're peers. We're all one. I'm going to keep that treasure of being the paper from you and Rob Bell. Thank you, and I want to be with that. So let's be the paper now as we go to prayer. Let's take a deep breath. Let go. Check in with your heart. Check in with the love that you are. This is our opportunity to consider that there are people, places, conditions in our lives, in the world, where love is needed. Love is needed. And we know the presence of divine love is there, and so we hold the remembrance of that love in each person, in those who are the victims and the perpetrators. That there is healing, there is harmony, there's understanding. That this that has arisen resolves itself back into love. And so whatever that is that's showing up in your life and in the world, Now's the time where we invite you to speak the names, the places, the situations into the space so we can hold them in a vibrational frequency of love together. Speak those names now. Wherever they are, love is there. Wherever they are, light is there. Wherever they are, peace is there. Because that is the very essence, that is the truth. We remember together, we awaken together, and we share in gratitude as we continue to unfold more and more of God, more and more of love into our experience in our world. For this we are grateful. Amen. We have a few opportunities to invite you into. But first I want to share with you that we have two fabulous Unity ministers in our audience tonight. We have Reverend Curdy and Reverend Sheila, and they will be available after the service to pray with you. So I invite you to have that opportunity for one-on-one confidential prayer and be blessed. So a few things going on in our ministry. On Saturday, we have Pet Blessing. Reverend Sheila is part of that with Reverend Claudia and Reverend Cindy, and that will be right here on our campus. Bring your pets, any pet you have that you want to bring, whatever pet you can get here. If you can get it here, we'll bless your pet. And we have blessings in English and Spanish, so invite your friends, and we hope to see you on campus. You don't need to register, just show up with your pet on Saturday. We have a Unity Women event coming up on Saturday. We invite you to check out on our website. What the Unity Women will be doing is they've collected books to give out at our trunk and treat to the kids, and so they'll be sorting books. So this is a service project. So it's just an opportunity for you to join us in the sanctuary lobby and help us to create this experience of gifting, reading, and literature to our kids at trunk and treat. This Sunday, Reverend Michael will be continuing his Touchstone series, a revelation of wholeness in heart and mind. And the cool thing about showing up in the sanctuary on Sunday is not only do you get to have the wonderful experience of the service, but you also get to take home the affirmation, and they're collectible, the affirmation cards. You want to have the whole set. So join us on Sunday for that. Trunk and Treat is coming up, and we would be blessed to have you offer your, I think we're still accepting cars? Yes, so you can volunteer to decorate the trunk of your car and give candy to our kids. And if you have kids, please come and join us. And that's coming up on Saturday, October, can't see the date from here. 28th, thank you. And next Wednesday night, we have a very special service. You will want to be here for it. It's an opportunity for us to honor those who have passed in our lives. This is a time of year where traditionally it's said the veil is thinner, and we're just more open to that connection with those beyond the veil. And so bring a photo of your cat, dog, loved one, whoever that has passed that is on the other side that you would like to add to our altar, a small photo. Okay, we're not putting up easels this time, but a small photo to add, and you can bring more than one photo, however many of people that you'd like to share, and we'll have candles, we'll do candle lighting, and it'll be a very sacred and healing time, so we hope you'll be back and join us for that next week.
So now, if we'll join together in our metta practice. By the power of this practice, may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they know the sacred joy that arises in the space beyond suffering. May they rest in equanimity that knows no grasping or hatred. May they experience the equality of all beings. May my practice be of benefit to all.
The